From the Bob Mills Weather Center, meteorologist Stephen Nehrenz.
Of course, keeping a very close eye on the weather across the state of Oklahoma and here in Green Country as well, specifically for us later tonight. So again, I said it earlier, I know it doesn't look the part right now. It is just crystal clear blue skies. It was actually kind of hazy this morning. That's kind of moving off to the east of Tulsa in our eastern counties. There's still some haze, actually a little bit of smoke in the atmosphere that's starting to thin out. But again, it's a beautiful look. Feels great. We're in the 80s with very light winds, so very little breeze to cool you off, but great temperatures here at the lunchtime hour. Most of the state, again, it's feeling nice. It's a little hotter as you would expect across western, southwestern Oklahoma, Red River region, upper 80s, low 90s. Much stronger wind flow across western Oklahoma into the eastern Texas panhandle where a dry line is setting up. Strong storm system is swinging in, so there's a strong surface system, strong upper level support. As I mentioned earlier, I showed you that storm zone a few minutes ago with that bullseye in western Oklahoma. Really, this setup from a severe weather standpoint is a little more reminiscent of what we'd see kind of in mid-May in prime severe weather season than we typically see in June. So it's a powerful system. Here's a look at visible satellite. You can see the cumulus development where we'll start to watch for storms developing late afternoon. Already seeing a few blowing up in eastern Colorado. And again, that will start to fill into the panhandle region by the late afternoon hours. After dark tonight here in eastern Oklahoma is when that moves in. This gives you kind of a general idea of the storm time of arrival. We'll see several clusters of storms. Eventually, we may see slightly more of an organized squall line develop. May not just be including everyone across the state, but late afternoon, early evening, western Oklahoma. Oklahoma City Metro, I-35 corridor, 7 to 8 p.m. Could be a little bit earlier than that in some spots on I-35. And then after dark, so after about 8 to 9 p.m., we're seeing storms into our western counties. So areas like Okfuskee County, Creek County, back to Payne County, Pawnee County, 8 to 9 p.m. Storms will be at least knocking on the door, if not moving in already. That would bring it to Tulsa by about 10 p.m. tonight would be the general timing, and then surging east through the midnight hour. Of course, that timing could still fluctuate a little bit, but that's how it's been lining up. Now, the specific threats, there's a lot of colors, a lot of things to see here, but I'll run you through this as far as where the highest risk of very significant hail will be this afternoon and this evening. Western Oklahoma could be some major hail producers. The hail risk will tend to diminish further east later tonight as these storms head in eastern Oklahoma. Kind of the same deal with the tornado risk. It's going to be highest with these isolated supercells initially in western Oklahoma, and then once they head to our side of the state tonight, that tornado threat should be on a downward trend. Now, it's not zero. We do still have to watch pretty closely for a few storms, just after dark as they're making it to our western counties, southeastern Oklahoma. There may still be a lingering risk for some rotationary brief tornado warning. So we'll have to watch that closely. But in general, the biggest risk we're concerned with, I think, overall here in eastern Oklahoma will be damaging winds. We're still seeing the potential for storms as they make it to our side of the state later tonight to have 60 to 70 mile an hour damaging wind gust potential, if not stronger at times. So that's what we're really kind of keeping a very close eye on. So through the afternoon, quiet conditions, a little toasty, highs upper 80s, low 90s. Let's walk you through this on Future View. So stopping the clock at 8 o'clock tonight, you can see storms lighting up the I-35 corridor. General timing here would continue to march those east from about 10 o'clock into Tulsa Metro. And you notice the weakening trend that the forecast models are suggesting. Doesn't mean that they're just going to totally fall apart, but we should generally start to see storms get slightly at least less intense the further we head into the night and the further east those storms head. And by early morning, that moves out. Now, there could be some secondary redevelopment of scattered shower and storms Friday morning into the midday hours, depending on how much that complex of storms kind of works over our atmosphere. That'll be something we'll determine in the morning. So once again, for our side of the state later tonight, damaging wind threats appear to be the highest risk. Some large hail. Tornado threat is lower, but it's not zero. So with these late night storms, make sure you plan ahead here to have your NOAA weather radio ready to go, your phone charged up, and have those severe weather alerts that will wake you up if you're asleep, the News on 6 weather app, all those things to make sure you kind of get woken up by alerts later on tonight if you're already in bed. We'll be here, of course, tracking it for you pretty closely. And then Friday and Saturday, temperatures climbing a little more. Looks like we may kind of do it all over again with another complex of severe storms that moves through late Saturday night into very early Sunday morning.